What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today we're joined by J-Ro from the Licks. Thank you for coming through, sir.
What up? Thanks for having me.
Yes. So, obviously, you have a rich and a vast and varied history in the game, and one of the things that I wanted to get from you is explaining in the beginning and the genesis of the Licks coming together and coming out with the Trifling album and everything on King T's album.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about what made you guys work so well and fit in so well back in that era with King T and with what he was doing?
Man, cause we were liver mates. I like to say, we're just hanging out, having fun, man, drinking, going to parties, doing parties. Cause if you go back, King T was my DJ at first. He was a bad DJ, 14 years old. And we were just teenagers, man, doing parties. A guy named Scotty D scooped us up. DJ Pooh was in the mix. And next thing you know, I was at school one day. I was coming home, driving home from school, and I heard King T's his song on the radio. Wow, that's the song you just recorded. Boom. First single out, Payback's a Mother. And he just started doing stuff from there. And then when I met Swift and Tash, we just were just family, went to family from there. So those songs like I Got It Bad and Bust That Ass, and when we did the first album, it was just a continuation. It was like we finally got to show people what we had been doing since the 80s, kind of. So that's why it fit. It fits so good.
And then King T, obviously coming from Compton and everything, and the explosion, better have a gun and everything, but he wasn't a gangster rapper, but he came up from Compton and around that era. So how do you think you guys and King T were kind of able to carve out your own lane and still be successful in the midst of the gangster rap dominance that still continues in LA to today?
Right. I mean, we showed people how to balance it. We all know where we from, but we was straight up hip hop. We wanted to display our lyrics. We wanted to have people in awe over stuff we were saying and the styles we were using. And the breaks we were finding and rapping over.
Yeah, you were sampling P.S.K.
even, you know what I mean? Big influence.
Schoolie D.
Yeah. So that was our intention, like to show people what real hip hop was. And King T came in under a more of a gangster umbrella than we did. So he had to show that, but he was letting you know that he was nothing to play with on the mic. Go back to the first album, the coolest, you know what I mean? He'll let you know.
Absolutely. Well, the cover also kind of paints a picture of that as well.
Right.
Most people weren't having shotguns.
He's just getting out of the Cadillac with a shotgun with a Dickie suit on, but he was just on his way to the studio to make a song.
Right. Just like most people at the time.
Just like most people. I tell people that all the time. Back, I taught in a university in Sweden, a hip hop course, and I always say to people, "What is hip hop to you?" We all have our own version. So then at the end of the course, I explained to them what hip hop is to me, and I always explained to them it was making it home. So the whole day before going to the party, all that was based on how am I gonna get home? Because it was like, okay, it's over there, you can't wear that over there.
Right.
First of all, maybe we can't bring him because he's, maybe you should ride with somebody else. Do we gotta bring a gun or not, or whatever? How we getting back? Can't drive your car because we might break down or something. My mom let me use her car. All right, so that was all preparation about
a lot of work.
Getting home. How are we gonna get home? The party and all that was just, that we could do that with our eyes closed. But now, they don't have to go through that. We went through that. There was no safe hip hop parties back
Right.
then. You know, it didn't exist. Now you got bouncers and security and rules and stuff. So guys are lucky.
Yeah, because I remember, you know, I grew up in Maryland. We would have our house parties, but then I remember, you know, D.O.C made songs about the house parties out here and different things, and it just seemed like a much different, higher stakes game just going to a party.
Right. So getting home, getting out that Cadillac with that shotgun was just that was a King T thing. It's how we made it home every time.
Gotcha. And now, given King T's work, your work, and then the extended Liquid crew and Liquid family, like, what do you think, looking back, was the beauty of what you guys brought to the rap game?
Man, just having fun, man. You know, not taking things so seriously, and you know, having a message, but just having fun with it. You know, we just wanted to show people that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, all the cliche stuff, without actually saying it, you know.
Right.
So, you know, none of us lived perfect lives or nothing like that, but we grew up, and at that time we were just having fun, man, you know, and we weren't out to try to hurt nobody or nothing like that, but we were just really dedicated to good lyrics, you know?
Right. And I think too, at the time, and I know we discussed this back in the day when I was interviewing you guys at the time, but I always thought it was good in a subtle way that obviously you had a lot of samples that were from the East Coast, but during the beef era, you know, you guys worked with Diamond D, or you worked, you know, with Old Dirty Bastard and stuff, and these were, you know, singles and stuff. They weren't like obscure songs of yours. So how do you think that kind of maybe got overlooked by what you guys were doing, or like what do you think was the perception of doing a song with a Diamond D, a Next Level, or doing you know, a song with an Old Dirty Bastard?
Yeah, we just felt that was very important, because I never looked at, you know, someone from New York is different than me, you know, or someone from Houston is different than me. So I felt that was very important for us to work with people from different places, and you know, especially from where it started. So even during the beef, the East Coast, West Coast beef, we were flying to New York, you know. Right. We didn't see nobody from out here. And I remember us talking about it then, like we were saying, we have to do this, you know. Some people like, you guys flying out there, you crazy. Like, we have to, because if we don't, it's just beef then. You know, so we got out there, we on the radio, all that, you know, we from LA, man. We ain't got no problems with y'all, you know, it held true, you know. It was a time when the only West Coast artist they played in New York was Snoop Dogg and the Licks. We wasn't happy about that, but we had to go out there and be in their face, you know, like, hey, we out here, man. This is nothing. This is hip hop. Whoever want to be on that, go ahead. We're not with that. So we, you know, a lot of the New York groups gravitated towards us, that we're still like brothers to this day, brothers and sisters, you know, because they wasn't with it either. You know, that was a very few people. It was very media driven, and it was beef, but it was very few people, and then it just spilled out into the fans more than the artists. So.
Yeah, because I remember even, you know, being in college and stuff, and like when Liquidation was coming out and you guys did a show at Howard or right near Howard, and I went to that, and then you know, I ran into you guys out in the street, and I was just talking to you. I hadn't started writing really or barely, and basically I just remember being so happy that you guys were getting so much love. It was like right by U Street in DC, for those that know, by Howard, but like everybody was just like, oh man, it's the Licks, and everybody was like chopping it up with you guys, and I just remember feeling like, man, this is what it was supposed to be about, because you know, that's what the music's for. It's like bringing people together, and you know. That's
right. We had to come back and report. Yeah, it's cool out there. Y'all can go. You can go to Maryland. It's cool, you know. Cause we had a time of our lives when, and we'd come back home, people like, man, I ain't going out there. No, we just got back. Should go, man. So, you know, I hope it helps some people, you know, just overcome that.
So when you moved to Malmo in Sweden, what made that something that you wanted to do at the time that you did it?
Oh man, it was something I always wanted to do since like the first time we went out there in '94. It was just crazy to be somewhere, you know, after not traveling my whole childhood, just to be somewhere outside the country like that was just amazing. But I just really took to it, you know, when we started hitting all the places in Europe. I was like, wow. And then I fell in love with a city called Copenhagen in Denmark, where your name comes from.
Yeah.
Soren. I know so many people named Soren now. It's crazy. But
not when you met me.
not when we met. But I was like, Soren is this is like John.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. My parents told me that because I was like, man, I've never met anybody with my name, and they were like, well, go to Denmark or Norway. You'll see lots of them.
Norway too.
And he knows it.
Yep. So yeah, I went out there and we were traveling a lot. And after the tours, I would always stay. So everybody else would fly back home. I would stay out there for like 2 weeks, a month or something, come back. Cause my whole perception started to change of where I'm from and the world basically. And I was like, why are we having to go through the things that we are going through when I'm living in other places? I'm seeing other places that's not even an issue.
Like specifically, what do you mean?
I mean, just the society in general, like diet, fast foods everywhere out here. You go out there, it's not, you know. So, you know, you have free education, healthcare, all that. Then I'm coming back home and I have friends that are dying for no reason and going to jail for stupid stuff. And then I go back out there and it's not existing anymore. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
So that's kind of what drew me to it in the first place. But being a bridge between the places, because they need stuff that we have here for sure, and they need us and we need them, you know. So I'm kind of caught that energy. So now that I've been out there 15 years, I moved to Malmo, Sweden, because I was working with a record label out there, and it's right on the border of Sweden and Denmark. Copenhagen is 20 minutes away, so it's perfect, you know. But learned a lot out there, and as far as musically, it let me open up musically and just do a lot of different music that I wasn't forced to have to do here. So when I left, it was 2003.
Yeah, I remember because we would, we were hanging out a lot at the time playing basketball and everything, and then you're like, yeah, Soren, I've been thinking about it. I'm going to move to Sweden. I was like, what? I was like, what?
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay, when are you moving back? But nah. And then to be able to then still like have events out there and keep the momentum going, and then now you're coming back and spending more time here, living here and stuff, but then now you're doing a lot of events in LA with Chris the Glove Taylor. So what do you guys have going on, and what are your plans for them?
Yeah, man, I was back in the 90s. I came up with this Cali Hop theory, because California to me is the only place that has two genres of rap. And whenever they have a West Coast party out of the country, out of the state, it's gangster rap. And we kind of get excluded from that. When there's a West Coast, anything, extravaganza. And we didn't know what to call ourselves, I don't think. Like underground rap, backpackers, whatever, I don't know. So I got together with Far Side, Souls of Mischief. We had a meeting on the roof on Highland in Hollywood.
Okay.
And we said we're Cali Hop. This was in the 90s. So fast forward to now, it's always been in the back of my mind, and I've always said it. I'm Cali Hop. I have songs where I've said it years ago. Mm-hmm. So when I came back here, I wanted to put the Cali Hop thing back. I came back last year, and I hooked up with my man Mean Green. Big up to Mean Green. With the whole legalization of cannabis out here.
Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, man, Western Hemisphere. So I went down to the Turp market that he does, and I saw how that was going down. So we came up with Cali Hop Stage at that point. So Chris the Glove came in, like boom. So the whole concept is everyone's down with Cali Hop Stage. Cali Hop. Cali Hop Stage is the performance we do, but everyone's included. Including gangster rappers. But we want to take this Cali Hop thing worldwide and give people a better understanding of like how California works. You know what I'm saying? And next time we have a West Coast party, maybe you'll see the Far Side, maybe see us, along with DJ Quick and Ice Cube and the rest of my bros out there.
Yeah, because I remember the one song in particular that I remember doing a good job of encapsulating that was California by Above the Law, because of how they had the two different beats, and like one was kind of more like sunny and bright, and then the beat flipped and then it was like super dark.
Right.
Then that kind of was a good like snapshot of what LA was like. Because I remember when I first came out here, and I'd be like, oh, where are we? And they'd be like, oh, we're in South Central, or oh, you're in Inglewood or something. And these are places I always was like, oh man, this probably. I'm like, man, this kind of looks like similar type of neighborhoods in Maryland. Like, what?
Looks nice.
Yeah, it like really threw me off when I first came out here.
Right.
Because in Maryland, Baltimore and D.C. in particular,
if it's a bad area,
you
it's
can
a bad
tell.
area.
It's
yeah.
like it's not.
There's
no confusion out here. Because I remember too, even when Mac 10 was shooting the Thicker Than Water movie, I'd gone down on the set at least a couple of times, and I told people, they're like, "You went down there by yourself at night?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, "Dude, don't do that."
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. Out here is just like when the sun goes down.
Yeah,
freaks come out at night.
Like Houdini said. Yes. And then musically, like bring everybody up to speed, like what you're working on and who you're collaborating with. What's going on?
All right. We're working on a new Alkaholiks project. I'll just leave it at that. The Lick Nuts album is getting mixed right now. I promise it's getting mixed.
It's been a decade in the making.
Yep.
Or more.
When we first met, we came up with that. That's crazy. So it's really 20 plus years we've been saying that. But the Lick Nuts album with the Beat Nuts Alkaholiks is getting mixed out in New York and Las Vegas right now. And I cannot wait for that album to come out. Like, people gonna trip. It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're just looking for a very good visual. We need to freak the visuals on it. The songs are crazy. We need to freak the visuals. So, holla at us.
There it is. And then
and I'm doing an album called Pacoima Elementary right now, and this is gonna come out on my Antics Music label. And we're changing the game because we're going back to selling hard copies again.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna force people to buy hard copies, and y'all probably think I'm tripping right now, but just watch.
It's gonna be on all three formats?
Antics Music.
CD, cassette, and vinyl?
It's gonna be hard copies. You can hold it in your hand.
Even better.
Yeah, you can hold it in your hand and you get something else with it. You get a lot of, it's all about packaging now. I think I'm moving into the packaging game with my companies and different products I mess with. So I'm gonna just combine them up, and you know, music is free these days. I think.
And then what about your health and diet? Because when we had you on Open Bar with Xzibit on K-Day about 1.5 or 2 years ago, it was now, that was something that, you know, people were still getting used to with you. So what things have you sustained about having to change diet?
There's no secret diet. It's a mind state. So, you know, I've kept the mind state. I'm not as hardcore as I was back then, you know. So now I can enjoy life, you know. So you get to a point where, you know, you don't want to put bad things in your body. You remember the feeling, how it made you feel. The person that I was back then, I'd rather eat a stale piece of toast and a half glass of water than to go back to that. So that's what did it. I'm glad I didn't have to go through anything traumatic. A lot of people ask me, like, were you sick? Did something happen? I didn't go through anything traumatic. I just got to a point where it was like I knew that I wasn't my best self, you know. I knew I had something under that you know, I wanted to show people. So now, you know, a lot of people know it's real. Like, okay, he's really down with this. It wasn't like some quick fix or whatever.
Right.
So, but I'm not an extremist. You know, I have a cheat day. I drink soda on my cheat day sometimes.
Okay.
Like that, but you know, people always say, "Hey, can you eat this?" When we go out and eat, they're real careful with me and stuff. I'm like, "Hey, I can enjoy something like that now, but it's not on my daily regimen."
Yeah. No, it's you know, and the thing is, once the thing, like you were saying about the diet, is like it's about being consistent with things, so that, you know, people might see you out eating whatever, but they don't see those other 20 meals you had in a row.
Exactly.
Where you're eating, where you're eating the right way, or you're eating in line with being healthy.
It's like detoxing, you know. I don't like really to tell people to detox because it could go bad, you know. But I detox every day. You know what I'm saying? I drink water with fresh fruit chopped in it, and there's your detox right there. It's not overloading your body or nothing like that. You're drinking water that has living material in it. So, and if you don't know, a fruit or vegetable doesn't start dying until you cut it.
Right.
If it falls off the tree, it's still alive. So when you eat it, it's still living. So, you know, get your fresh fruits and vegetables up in you.
Get them on, man.
That naturalness up in you. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, man. We appreciate you coming through, J-Ro. Always a pleasure to see you, man.
Always.
Yes.
Coming back. I'm coming back. Y'all come see me in Malmo, Sweden. Peace out to my peoples out there.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence, thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.